words matter,
Right.
right? The fucking words that you say really matter. And my words are, I will never fucking do drugs again. There's just no ifs, ands, or fucking buts,
Yeah.
period. And it's not the whole pride comes before the fall kind of thing because, at first I was scared to say that, but I knew I was free.
Right.
I knew I was given freedom from it
Yeah.
and I could live that out. But I like the concept that you just said, I'm an addict, always an addict. Yes, now I'm just addicted to fucking other amazing things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like I'm not addicted to the drugs anymore. Fuck the drugs. That shit is nowhere near in comparison. And before, when people used to ask me, how do you know you're completely free?
Right.
Well, the way that I would describe it is, okay, when I was using drugs, if you were to ask me anytime then, on a scale of 1 to 10, right, how were you feeling? Good day, I'd probably say 4, 5. I mean, I was a depressed kid.
Right.
I was overweight. I was insecure. And, I was just like lonely, all of that stuff, right? Like there was a lot of different things from familial aspects and our auntie who stayed with us and some abuses that happened there that pushed me towards that direction. But the truth is I was all of those things. And on a scale of 1 to 10, I was a 4. And there were some days where I was a fucking -2 and in full despair. The crazy thing is when I do drugs, the first time or the first high that you get, the whole concept of chasing the dragon, I'd probably peak at a 9 and feel that way. Right? But every subsequent trying to catch that 9, it would always just be like an 8, 7,
Right.
6. And the truth is, I never got higher than a 6 anymore.
Yeah.
But
no,
for
definitely.
somebody who's going from a -2 to a 4 on a daily basis, and that's the way that I felt,
Yeah.
hell fucking yeah, I'm going to do whatever it fucking takes to get to a 6.
Right. Well, that's the people don't realize maybe that aren't or haven't done drugs and are wondering like,
Why would you do that?
Yeah, I've had people in the past that are like, well, you weren't supposed to do drugs anyway, so it's like cool you stopped, but like now you're just back to even, and that's I don't know, it's like kind of a weird mentality because people use drugs and alcohol or food or sex or whatever it might be because it works. You know what I mean?
Right. Again,
yeah.
it works even in small increments, even that tiny shift. I mean, in a sense of priorities, that when you're somebody in despair or depression, that shift up,
Yeah.
whether it's a tiny fucking shift, is all I fucking cared about.
Yeah, of
I didn't
course.
care about nothing else. I just needed to feel something.
Yeah, and that's that. Drugs aside, that doesn't go away. If you wake up and you're feeling sick, like you have a cold, what are you gonna do? You're gonna seek a way to feel just a little better. It's the same damn thing. And what if you're like not as happy with your weight or your fitness? Then you're gonna seek a way to just get a little bit better. You're gonna start using Ozempic. It's the same thing. Like it's just that doesn't change.
Well, wait, check this out. It can change because I've spent the last 18 years now cultivating positive and optimal changes in my life to actually improve my life.
Right, and those are good. That's what I mean.
Right?
It's positive.
Like look, no matter what, we're always seeking for a higher level, elevation, growth, expansion.
Yeah, exactly,
Something better,
yeah.
right? We need something to feed us. But the thing is, what are we going to
Two. Yeah.
And if we actually make right decisions, or the best decision at that time, because I've
Right.
made a lot of bad decisions in the last 18 years. It's not like I made all perfect
Right,
decisions,
right.
but I always made the best decision available to me at that time.
Of course. Yeah.
And so the crazy thing is when people ask, okay, well, would you ever do drugs again? Well, drugs, if it only got me to a 6 or a 7 or a 9 at the most, if you were to ask me now, literally, on a consistent basis, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you? Honest truth, I sit at about an 11. And on good days, I sit at a 13.
Right.
On bad days, it can dip down to a 9.
Yeah.
But with everything that I've fucking practiced and put into practice, and then really did over and over again to find an optimal style of living and choosing as best of right decisions as I can every single fucking time. It doesn't have to be perfect decisions. It just has to be the most optimal decision at that time and the best to what I know. Literally, you could create a fucking life of freedom, happiness, joy. And then when you actually take that and share it with others, oh my fucking goodness.
Yeah.
That's why the joy goes past 10.
Right.
You know, if you just do it for yourself, it's a 1 to 10. 10 is the best you could feel.
Right.
When you start doing it for others, it grows exponentially.
The exponential part. Totally.
Yeah.
No,
and
agreed.
that's where everything changes. So, yeah, I truly, 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 truly know for a fact, not believe, but I know for a fact that I will never do drugs again.
Right.
It's not happening.
Yeah.
Period.
I agree.
Now, will I make other mistakes? Oh, fuck yeah. I make a ton of them all the time. But without the drugs to fuck it up even worse, I'm good. I'll figure that out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what, I'm grateful for all of it because now I have a perspective that is very hard to achieve in any other way where, if you have a bad day, it's like not that bad though, compared to how bad that was. Those days were bad. I had cancer too during my addiction and was like bedridden for a couple of years and on oxygen, and those were really bad days. So like, if you
Wait, you're recovered from cancer too?
yeah, and that was
Bro,
all
what the fuck?
yeah, it's crazy. So like that was all, those were bad days. So today, if a day is bad, it's really awesome, honestly, to be like, well, no, it's not. And actually, it's not comparative. Yeah, and yeah, you can like still have a bad day, of course, but yeah, I agree, man. I definitely don't ever plan to use drugs again. I just always want to maintain that vulnerability and respect
And that,
to it.
a healthy fear.
Yeah, not even a fear, just like a never forget thing. Like that shit, like will steal you, and I will never do it again. But I've seen people who get this ego thing to it and are like, yeah, I'm more powerful than that shit, and that's, I think, a problem. And having like a healthy respect for it and being like, stay away. Like that's, not for a while I couldn't go in bars. I was drinking a lot and crazy, but I now I don't care what's around me, and someone could even start doing drugs around me.
Yeah.
And I don't give a shit.
Right.
Like I'm so far removed and not a I'm just whatever. Do your thing, to each their own. Feel very strong in my sobriety, but have always tried to maintain that kind of, I don't know what the right word is, but like healthy respect for what it can do, so.
Yeah, actually, in Christian terms, it's a healthy, like just fear God factor. It's
Right,
a healthy fear,
right.
but more of a respect factor of like, you know what it can do.
Yeah, I'm never gonna pretend what happened didn't happen, so therefore I need to like maintain that. I need to remember, and remembering helps me become a better person today, and helps me help more people too. It's crazy when I'll help someone in like active addiction or like day one of sobriety. It's so crazy because all that stuff comes back, and that's kind of how like the AA NA world works, right? Is you help someone just getting sober and you're 10 years in,
Right.
which reminds you of what it was like so that it maintains and keeps your sobriety strong. I'm not a sponsor. I don't regularly go to meetings, but I've been to so many of them early on, and that's a big piece of like how that works. And I've had instances where I've helped a lot of people indirectly, like not really trying to, but just by promoting and telling my story to a lot of our students over the years at our audio school and stuff, that like there's so much drugs and partying and music.
Especially music. Fuck yeah.
I've had many students. I've taught 1,000 plus at this point, audio production, music engineering, all that stuff, and a lot of them have had issues with drugs and alcohol. And I never push it on them. I just tell my story. Hey, I wanted to be an artist and DJ and music producer when I was younger, and I thought to do that and to be cool and to be accepted meant to use drugs, and that made you more creative and all that stuff, and I was terribly wrong. And here I am today. I own my own studio and produce for a lot of people and make music and live that dream fully today, working
fully
music.
sober.
Yeah, and I'm cool as fuck now. Like, you know what I mean? I thought I was back then, but it really was so flipped. I came from a place of severe lack of self-love and insecurity, and it was being masked with this mask of drugs and, playing a role to try to feel cool and accepted. One of the human needs is just to be accepted.
Right.
And if you're not feeling accepted in friends, and it could be very simply where you're just like a picked on kid, and then you like go to the party and you like smoke some weed or do some lines with people, and all of a sudden you're like part of a crew and you're like accepted, and that's
That's
very,
actually how I started.
yeah,
doing- well,
exactly. Yeah,
addiction.
that's exactly, man. That's how it always starts, and that's very addictive in itself. You're like, well, now I'm accepted and cool. Oh, like you're not gonna give that up because it satisfies that need of being, you know, loved and accepted. In addition to now you're high and it feels cool too. So that's like hard to. Again, there's a reason people start using drugs, and that goes away pretty quick. So